So I'm sure by now you guys have heard about AI appointment setters and how you can use them to completely replace or enhance your sales team. And you're wondering to yourself, how do I make this work? Well, we just had an expert, an AI and automations expert in our group showing exactly step by step how you can build a super powered AI enhanced appointment setter that texts back and forth with your or your client's leads using nothing but the system called Go HighLevel, and also connecting it to ChatGPT for the entire workflow setup, everything you need as an agency or business, step by step, exactly how to set it up and how you can do it all and get it done today. And actually setting appointments tomorrow is all right here. So without further ado, let's hop over there so that you can put it together for yourself. If you've been wondering how you can build one of these AI powered appointment setter bots for yourself, then you found yourself in the right place. Let's jump over. The one that we're going to be doing today, that we're going to go show everybody, is the AI setter bot, which is amazing, right? I think that's going to be really cool. And then in a couple weeks time, we might do a database reactivation one. A couple weeks after that, we might do a snapshot one. They're going to come in here, spend their time with us, and just help you guys really learn to master that shit. I want to pass the mic over to Mr. Brendan and Mr. Adam, and we can get into it today, guys. Again, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building out an AI appointment setter bot. I personally, we're using a couple of different ones of these. Ones we're using for our real estate clients are out booking any ISA that we've had before. Ones that we're using for our own business are booking them daily off of lead form ads. And ones that we're using for our clients are getting, last I checked the other day, $8 booked calls from Facebook lead form ads and IGDM ads that it was connected to. Absolutely mind-blowing, guys, some of the stuff that you can do with this. So this is a superpower that you can use not only for your own business. I'm looking over here because I forgot I put the camera over here. You can use for your own business and also get to charge a premium for it. You know, when we used to run real estate campaigns heavily, we charged a premium to add on an ISA, a human that would be like a call center. Now you get the ability to not have to take on that overhead by building something like this, but still charging that premium by moving the puck closer to the goal. And for all those non-Canadians out there, it's moving the actual customer closer to closing the deal so that you can get that done.
All right, guys. So first and foremost, how many of you guys have seen third-party AI tools on the internet all over the place? Things like Zappy Chat and what's the other, Capri AI. Like, how many of you guys have seen those out and about in the world? I have never used those platforms, so I can't speak to those platforms. And the reason that I have never used those platforms is because, as Cody already mentioned, like Brendan and I are, for the most part, high-level purists. We believe if you can't do it in high level, then you probably don't need to in general. And so the other big component of this for us is that we believe in reducing as many of our operating costs and subscriptions as we possibly can. So that is why when Zappy Chat came out and they were charging $1,400 originally out of the gate for their lifetime thing, I was like, nope, we can probably build this ourselves. Capri AI, I think, is like $197. You get like 3 licenses or something like that. Again, we said nope, because we knew that there was a better alternative and a better way to do it. First cover is why we don't use that and why we use a different method. And I'm also going to share with you guys some secrets on how to actually get it done for super, super cheap, because some of these things cost money, right? That's just the reality of it. We don't use the internal conversational AI simply because of cost. So cost is the number one reason why we don't use HighLevel's AI. The reason that is, it's 5 cents per call to ChatGPT. So every single time you send a prompt, they're charging you 5 cents. When you're having conversations with people, that's 5 cents every single time your AI needs to respond, on top of your SMS fees and all of that sort of stuff. So it gets really, really pricey, which is why we don't currently use it. The other major component of the in-house version is that they don't have what is called a memory key. And a memory key is the single most important thing when it comes to conversational AI. Without the memory key, your AI doesn't know what was previously said, what the context of the conversation is, and therefore can respond very erratically. Is that the right word? Where it might not make a whole lot of sense. And currently, the HighLevel's AI component doesn't have the memory key structure. Now, I've seen the ideas board. It is coming, so things might change when that happens. Unless they change the price of the per call, I'm still not going to use it, because the way that we do it costs us less than a cent per call. That includes Zapier, and that includes the OpenAI API key, which is a requirement to do what we're about to do today. So right out of the gate, guys, zapsunlimited.com. I'm going to put that in the chat here. Go, and if you use Zapier, or you want to get into the world of building custom things for your customers that have different CRMs, and you want to basically be able to do anything you want to do, Zapier is a great option. Pabbly is another great option. But we use Zapier, and we use Zapier because of that memory key functionality. Okay, that is the single most important functionality that you're going to need in order to build out an AI conversation bot. So that it has an ongoing conversation with your customers. So with that being said, you now know why we don't pay for other AIs, and you know why we don't use the native AI. So with that being said, who wants to see how to build one? For the sake of time, I'm not going to build it from scratch. We're going to actually go through our core 4 AI system. And with this system, what we've actually done, what we've put together is multiple ways that your AI can engage with customers. So are they trying to book a call? Are they trying to sell a product? We've even got database reactivation, and we've also built it out to work on any channel that HighLevel offers. And the really cool thing about this is that they're coming out with new channels every single day. Things like LinkedIn, by the way, is coming out. So we will be able to easily add LinkedIn as a channel to this bot. And then when they come up with, I believe I saw that maybe by the end of the year, they're actually going to be having a proper chat widget. Don't quote me on it. I'm not Sean Clark, but current chat widget right now is basically just a glorified form that looks fancy on a site, and then it leads to text messaging. But from what I've been told, they are coming out with an actual chat bot on the website that's going to be able to be used directly inside HighLevel. So we will be able to use all of those channels.
Maybe one day WhatsApp. Maybe it's been on the docket for over 2 years.
They're testing it right now. They're
final stages. They keep saying
they're in the final stages. So, okay, let's dive into it. What I'm going to show you is probably going to seem a little bit overwhelming right out of the gate, but I'm going to do my best to walk you guys through it step by step, because the overall core function of this is actually more simple than you think. We've just obviously, because we've taken it to the next level to be able to do multiple things with it. But from the basics, we'll show you guys so that you understand this as much as humanly possible. So there are 2 things that you need, actually 3 things that you need in order to get this to work. Okay. The first thing you need is HighLevel. Second thing that you're going to need is you're going to need the OpenAI API key. Okay, so I just dropped the link. It's https://auth0.openai.com/u/login. That is going to bring you to the login screen for OpenAI, and we are going to jump in here. So once you've logged in, created a login, this, by the way, is free. So don't worry about it to this point. You're not paying anything. But you're going to log in here and you're going to go to the API. Okay. Once you are in here, you are going to click on your name and you're going to go view API keys, and you are going to create a new API key. Okay. Now I recommend that you immediately copy this and paste it somewhere safe and secure, because as you can see, all of these API keys, I can't copy them anymore. So you need to make sure that when you create a new secret key, that it lives somewhere safe and secure so that you can go and grab it and use it at any time. Okay. So you need HighLevel, you need OpenAI's API. And then the third thing you need, which I've already mentioned, is Zapier. Now I recommend Zaps Unlimited because it's $29 a month. And you get up to 50,000 tasks a month, which is great when you're doing conversational AI that's going to be using up a task with every single text message that comes in. versus the standard Zapier plan, which I think starts at like $79 and gives you 2,000 tasks. So Zaps Unlimited is a great way to just explode your potential use cases with Zapier. So those are the 3 things that you need. And now we're going to dive into this. And like I said it was going to be a little bit confusing, but we're going to do our best to simplify this overall process. Okay. And really all we need, these are all of our channel workflows. So these are operating on different channels. We're going to start with SMS and we're just going to stick with SMS. We're not going to go into detail on any of the other ones. I will tell you a little bit of a secret on how to do other social media platforms, but I'm not going to dive into the overall structure and setup because they're all virtually identical. Okay, so you need to create 3 different workflows. Okay, workflow number 1 is how are they getting into your system? So this can be from lead forms, this can be from keyword texts, this can be from literally anything at all, where you're going to set your trigger. So let's go in and have a look at this overall workflow structure. Now, again, you can simplify this, but we do things a very specific reason for a very specific way, so that we can do multiple channels and multiple things. So here's a quick example, right? You've got a form submitted. So you got an opt-in form on your website. You've got your Facebook lead form submissions. You've got a reply channel is customer SMS. These are all the triggers that are going to initiate and kick off the bot. Okay. Now, the first thing that we do is we come in here and we check to see if the bot is already operating inside the system. And if they have the AI assistant tag or the AI assistant demo, or they reply demo, we don't want them to come through this workflow. Okay. Because they're already engaging with the AI and we don't want to reset it. So that is step number 1 that we always follow. We then wait a few seconds. We add the tag AI assistant. So this tag right here is super, super important. Okay. And the reason that you want to use a tag is because with a tag, you have a kill switch, meaning your AI is not going to get it right every single time. I'll be the first to admit it. Sometimes it screws up. Sometimes it says things that are wrong, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And so you need a way to easily kill your bot. And that is why we use a tag. So every single time you add the AI assistant tag, this is going to be what's going to trigger responses. And if that tag doesn't exist or your kill switch tag exists, they will no longer come through this AI structure. We remove all other tags. Now, this part here is super important. Creating a unique memory key for each contact. Now, I've seen this done a lot of different ways. You can use the email, you can use the phone number. What we do is we use the right now function. So we do right now year, right now month, right now day, right now minute, right now second. And that is going to create a very unique memory key for your AI to run off of. And the other reason that we do this is that we can force people to come back through this workflow later on, reset the memory key so that we can now have a different type of conversation altogether. So this is why we update the memory key with a unique value versus using we've seen people use contact ID, we've seen people use email, we've seen people use phone. But if you use those things that are stagnant, they're always the same, then you can't change the AI's conversations. The AI is always going to have a memory of the previous stuff that was said, and you can't change the history. Whereas this way, we can every single time. So next thing we're going to do, and I talked about this multi-channel, we're going to add a channel tag. So which communication channel did they come in on? Which is why you saw all those other workflows. They're all set up almost exactly the same as this one. And the major difference is the channel tag that gets added to them. Okay. So this is going to tell the AI, it's got an AI assistant tag and it's an SMS channel, meaning they texted me, I'm going to text them back, right? If it had a Facebook Messenger tag, came in through Facebook Messenger, I'm going to message them back, right? That's the idea behind this. Now, we also remove all other communication tags to make sure that it doesn't try to reply in a different channel when it shouldn't, right? So we've currently got these 4 channels, right? Now, here's kind of where you can get really creative with your AI and where we have made it do more than just one thing, right? Before I dive into this, who has already seen my original AI build on YouTube? So in that original video, we just did it one way, right? We had a prompt that came in directly to Zapier, and then we had a single function AI. All it did was book calls. That was it. So version 2.0 that we're looking at right now, we have set it up a little bit differently, mostly the same, but it can now do multiple functions. Okay, so now you can actually build your AI to do multiple things based on how somebody got into this workflow, right? So you can set your triggers, you can set your conditions, and then you can branch out into different AI prompts so that your AI will operate in a different manner. Let's keep going because this is where we start to do things in a little bit more of a unique way. All right. So now we've got our conditions. Now our conditions with our snapshot are we use specific keywords to trigger off different workflows. But like I said, you can add all sorts of different triggers up here. So once you've added your triggers, you can come down to your branches and you can say, hey, you know what? It's a Facebook lead. So I'm actually going to use that Facebook lead trigger. And that is now going to go down the booking bot route. But maybe I'm running a Facebook ad where I actually want it to sell a low ticket item, which is what I've already got right here. So my ad is for my SaaS or for my, SLO offer, whatever the case may be, right? You can also move that lead form into a sales bot, which is going to give information about the product, links to sell it, and so on and so forth. So all we've done here is we've taken the 3 different functions that we want this bot to be able to do, and we've created branches for them. And the conditions of those branches are the workflows, right? Or the triggers, sorry. So that we can determine how this person came in and what we want to happen when they come in. So that is the condition statement right here. And then down, I'm just going to focus my effort and energy today on the booking system because that's what the vast majority of people are currently out there using. But the process by and large is the same. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to update the AI role.
Hesitate there just for a second. I want to make sure, is everybody cool with that? I think that's what we want anyway, right? Because it's a lot to take in, a little bit of information overload, all that kind of stuff. So if we're doing it just for the chatbot today, the AI appointment setter, that's what we talked about. So we can show you some of the other ways to kind of branch off and all that kind of optionality. But I think the focus on the build today so that you guys can do this for yourselves and for your clients should be just on the chatbot, the setter appointment thing, that kind of.
All right, then we're going to carry on.
I do want to add on just one. We do have a admin bot for missed call text back. So there wide range of flexibility with this. But yeah, like you said, we'll stick with booking.
We're going to do another one of the ones in the series, either database reactivation or missed call text back. So we can always, this can be the foundation, and maybe we can reference back to this for how we would leverage it in those situations too. I think that might make sense.
Absolutely.
And as you can see here, we already have the database reactivation structure here as well.
Perfect.
So
open loop for all you guys then. So, be here.
Perfect. Okay. So we update the bot role. This is mostly for internal purposes so that we know, okay, this is what that bot is currently doing, right? It is currently a booking bot, or it is currently a sales bot, or it is currently a database reactivation bot. We just need to know internally what this bot is actually, what its role is at the moment. Okay. We're going to send that first text message out. As always, following A2P rules and regulations. So we are using custom values, which I will get into in just a minute here, because this is super important. For the AI's name and the company name. And then we've got confirmation. Can you confirm this is so-and-so? Who in this group has ever run a Facebook ad where somebody filled in the wrong name, email, and phone number, and they told you to F off? That's what this message is all about. We want to make sure that they confirm they are the right person. Then what we do, this is also super important because your bot needs context out of the gate. So we're going to take this initial text message right here. We're going to copy it, and we're going to create a custom field called AI initial message so that we can tell the AI what they have already said, right? So we're building context into the bot so that it knows what's been said or what's already happened with the customer reply that comes in. So we've got the initial message, which is that first text message. And now here's where we do things a little bit differently than we did in the original AI structure. And we've kind of kept this one pretty close to our chest. And we haven't told too many people about this. So you guys are going to be the first ones to learn this strategy, which really simplifies the overall process because we do need Zapier to make this work. And when you have multiple styles of prompts, you would also then need multiple zaps to run them, meaning every time you get a new client, they're running 5 different types of bots. You've got to duplicate your zaps 5 different times in order to make this work. But with this little secret, you no longer have to do that. You can run a single zap for everything through that customer account. So you just create one zap and then these automate the rest. So this is a little bit sucky because it can't be a large text box in a workflow. So what we've actually done is we've put all of our prompts inside these Google Docs, and then we can just copy these and paste them directly into the actual prompt here. So what we're doing is we are building the prompt inside HighLevel, and then we will send that prompt to Zapier. Does that make sense to everybody? I want to make sure that everybody's following, and it will make more sense as we kind of keep going along because you got to see the whole thing to understand how it all works. Okay. So that is step number 1. You need to send a message or receive a message in some way, shape, or form. You need to confirm that that person is real. And then you need to set up your bot so that it's ready to go. Okay. At this point, the bot has not yet engaged with the customer because we need the customer to actually engage with us first in order to kick off the bot.
If you go back to the memory key part, I was a little confused there. Was that like the day, the time, and the
We're
year?
just creating a unique memory key by using the right now function. What that does is creates a brand new unique number for every single person who comes through. And we use that. And so that we only give the memory key once. And then that's used when we go over to Zapier, because Zapier, the way that ChatGPT is structured, has a memory key section.
So therefore,
Same memory
if
key
I'm testing this, then and I want to start from the beginning, and I do not want it to remember my last situation because I'm changing things, I would have to change this, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just change the memory key to something new and go through.
Okay. But in the working world, it's also what that means also is that if they come back, like someone said in the chat, if they came back to reschedule or if they came back to continue a conversation with the chatbot.
As long as they don't go, so that's why we have ours broken into 3 different workflows, technically 4. So their initial time coming in, they're given a memory key, and that memory key sticks with them after that point. They don't go through that workflow again. So as long as that memory key stays the same, it will be the same conversation all the time.
And it'll hold the same history.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I'm gonna continue to move on here. Okay, so that is workflow structure number 1. Effectively, all you're doing is you're trigger in, you're kind of setting the foundations for your bot, you're giving your bot the prompt, you're setting your channel reply tags, and then you are sending that initial message and backing up the bot so that it knows what message it sent. Okay, now stage number 2, and this is where all the magic starts to happen. We are going to do this workflow right here, which is a client response. So the client has now responded to the initial message. Okay. Now, the first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that if the AI tag exists, that is the only time that we are going to actually allow the bot to reply, which is why we have it there as a kill switch. So if we take that off, the bot can no longer reply. Okay. So that is all you're going to do here is customer reply trigger, and the only filter you're going to use is has tag. Now, if you're doing this on specific channels, you can filter this down to be a specific reply channel if you want to. We just didn't because we allow our bot to do multi-channel communication. So for us, it was anytime anybody responds on any channel and has the AI assistant tag, fire this workflow. Okay. And we also have a demo structure, but I'm not going to get into that right now. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to remove them from the AI response workflow, which is the next workflow that we're going to cover. And you'll understand that in just a minute here as well. We're going to reset a re-engagement counter. And again, that will make sense once we go into workflow number 3. We are going to update AI message body with message.body. Who knows what message.body actually does? I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you know what it does, and I want you to put a 2 in the chat if you don't know what it does, because 2s are going to be important. And if I have a single 2, I'm going to tell you. There we go. Susan and Rahul. You're right. Message body is the key inside HighLevel for the last sent message from the lead. Okay, so this is actually a super useful field name. If you don't know about it, you do now. And this is going to allow you to do a lot of different things with internal notifications to your clients. But basically what this is we are taking the message body from the last sent text, and we are going to update a custom field with that message so that we can now pass this message back to the AI and be a little bit more dynamic about it. Now, I'm gonna kind of brush over this because this is just a custom situation that Brendan and I put in. If you're using Facebook or Instagram or Google My Business or anything like that, emails don't exist. And we need an email to exist in order to use Zapier and tie it back to a single contact. So
now, this is one of the only times that we'll use the native ChatGPT function.
Yeah. So I want to just talk about this really quickly as much as I possibly can. So if Brendan comes into our Facebook business page and he starts engaging with an AI, the way that HighLevel does it is that it's automatically going to add the name of the person who messaged you, but that is all you get. Okay. You just get the name and that is all. Now there's a cool feature inside HighLevel where if you ask them, hey, what's your email? Their email will get populated in the contact record. If you ask them, hey, what's your phone number? Their phone number is also going to get populated. But in this case, we need an email right now because they came in through Messenger and we cannot engage the AI without it. So in the other workflow, which I'm actually just going to really quickly show you guys because this will give you some really good ideas on how you can actually do this. In this workflow, I have to remember where it is. It's right here. So do they have an email address? So if the email address is empty, this is a brand new conversation. This is not a lead that previously existed in our system that's messaging us. We actually create a fake email. And we create the fake email by just adding the custom memory key and then @fakeemail.com. This allows us to tie the AI's response, which you'll see in the next workflow, to that specific contact in Messenger or in Instagram DMs or whatever the case may be. Okay, so that's what that is all about. If they do have one, we just skip that step and we move along. Okay, so what this is looking for here is if they come in through one of the social media channels, our prompting is going to be a little bit different because we don't already have an email address. So we need to try to collect one. And so if the customer's response contains @ and period, it means that they just gave us an email address. Now here's, like Brandon said, this is one of the only times that we use the native ChatGPT function in here. We just say, parse out the customer's email from this response. And again, we use the message body and respond with just their email. So what that's going to do is if somebody replies, hey, Adam, my email is brendan@rmmarketing.ca. If we didn't do this step and we just updated a contact field, then his email would actually be, hi, Adam. Right? And it would have all of that in it. But with ChatGPT, we've been able to parse out the email that was given and return only that email address. And now we can update the contact record to have a new email address. Okay. So that's what this fancy little if-else statement is. Now, by default, almost everybody is going to go down this none route. And I will cover this in a little bit because I want you guys to understand the prompting first before I do this. But we do a rollover to the Eliza AI booking bot. So if you are on the GHL Pro plan, the $497 plan, you will have this, and this will make sense and you'll be able to do this. If you are not on the $497 plan, we have a different prompting structure that you should use in order to send your booking links. But without going into detail about that, we're going to come down here and we're going to send a webhook to Zapier. And again, we use custom values so that you can switch this up on the fly if you have to for different customers and different clients. And then we also update the opportunity that says, hey, this person has engaged. Because keeping track of whether somebody's engaging is important. So we're sending the webhook to Zapier. Now's the time where we're going to dive into Zapier and we're going to break this whole structure down for you as well. Okay. So the first things first, you've got a catch hook from Zapier right here. Okay. That is going to capture the response, including the AI message body that we updated with message body, because we need that field in order for the AI to have a conversation. Now, the reason we went over API keys is because in this section here, you're going to need to connect your ChatGPT account, and it's going to ask you for that API key. So when you create your API key here, copy it, and you're going to connect it and use that API key to connect to ChatGPT. We're going to set it for conversation. So a lot of people I've seen, they use the OpenAI function. Don't use that because it doesn't have the memory key functionality and it's a little bit more choppy. So use ChatGPT. Event is going to be conversation. Connect your ChatGPT account here. And now we're going to build out the action for this. Okay. User message is going to be that message.body. Now we use a custom field for that instead of just sending the message body. And the reason that we use a custom field for that is because of our booking structure and our response structure on the next workflow, which I'll show you guys in just a minute. Currently, the model that we have tested that has been the most successful has been the GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K 0613. There are other models that we have not tested. So I'm not going to give you any information about those because I'm not going to tell you to do something I haven't done myself. Now we're taking that memory key and you'll notice this is just a date format, right? 2023, 89644, right? So all that is the year, minute, or year, day, minute, second. That's all that is. We're going to take the user's name, which is the contact's first name. We're going to take the AI assistant name, which we tell it what that is from the custom values, which I'll show you guys that as well towards the end here. And then what are the instructions that we are going to give this AI? Now, this is where we take that AI prompt field that we write into the workflow so that this structure can remain the same 100% of the time. And now you can change the prompt and what you're actually sending the AI based on how that person got into your system. Okay. We limit the tokens because we don't want it to just word vomit super long strings of messages back to our customers. So we limit the tokens. We set the temperature. With Brendan, I might get you to chime in here, but temperature, what temperature does is it is basically saying, how rigid do you want this AI to respond? The lower this number, the more rigid your bot will respond. The higher this number, the more creatively your AI will respond. Now, in this case, we want it to be semi-rigid because we are asking it to do specific things that are going to key off of different workflow structures. And so we don't want it to change too much. Brendan, do you recall what top P is? Because I've never touched it and you only ever touch one, never both.
Yeah, so top P is pretty much similar to temperature. The lower it is, the more rigid, the higher it goes, the less rigid. There's more dynamics to it. I never touch it myself. Temperature is the best thing to utilize for our use cases. So we haven't gotten into top P at all.
Cool. All right. So all this is doing is this is going to send ChatGPT the reply from the client. It is going to set the memory key. It is going to know the customer's name. It is going to know the AI's name that you gave it, and it is going to know the prompt that you fed it. Okay. Now I'm going to go in here real quick and I'm going to show you guys the prompt that we write. And this is honestly, what I'm showing you is relatively simple. The prompting is really 95% of the actual functionality of your AI. If your prompting sucks, your AI will suck. And it's funny because I'm Canadian and Brendan is not. And every single time I tried to write a prompt, Brendan would just laugh at me because I was way too nice to a robot. Would you please do X, Y, and Z thing? And Brendan's like, no, I'm a coder. You need to talk to this robot like it's code, meaning very strict, very rigid instructions. Okay.
Really quick, I'm going to give you guys 2 words of advice whenever you're writing prompts. Number 1, active voice. Do not use passive voice. Now, us as humans, we naturally use passive voice. So you can even go over to ChatGPT, say, hey, rewrite this in active voice and it'll do it for you. We've done it a few times. Number 2, it's really weird that I'm using this, but do not use the do not style of writing.
Yeah.
Use positive style of writing, not negative. So don't tell it what not to do. Tell it what it can do. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And that's actually a super important point because we've seen a lot of people's prompts that are saying, if they reply this way, do not reply this way. And the bot just replies that way anyways. And when you understand how ChatGPT and prompt engineering works, it will take positive comments and positive instructions before, and it just doesn't take negative comments. It just basically ignores them. So you'll notice that every single piece of this prompt is do this and do that. So if there is something that you want it to avoid doing, you need to tell it to avoid doing that thing in a positive way, which
usually just tell it what to do in that situation.
Yeah. Stretch your brain muscles a little bit to try to put that one all together. So here is our overall prompt structure. Okay. So we're going to tell it who it is, what it's doing, and you'll notice that we use custom values for all of this. And this is what allows you to replicate this system for multiple different business niches. So we have the company name, we have the AI's personality, 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to give it 3 different personality types. So step 1 of your prompting is, who are you? What's your role? Well, that's what we're telling the bot. Okay. Step 2 of the prompting is telling it what its job is right now. So in this case, we're doing the booking bot. So your goal is to interact with the prospect to ask a series of qualifying questions in order to help determine if our solution is right for them. When the client answers all the questions, your next objective is to have them book a call. The conversation started with, so now we're giving the AI information about where this conversation has started and where it's going. Okay. Here's your response format. So acknowledge the user's message naturally and conversationally and ensure a human-like tone and respond dynamically each time. So this is the instructions that we're now giving it. Here are the questions in order, meaning ask them in this order. This is a pre-written question. Now you can change this however you want, but we ask, hey, do you mind if I ask you a few questions to make sure our service is right for your business? They respond, yes. And now we've got 4 qualifying questions that we want to ask before we even get to booking a call. Now, these are dynamic, so you can change these whenever you want to, which is why we use this custom value structure in the first place. And then the last one, although it sort of is a question, this one's super, super important as well. So we are actually telling it to finish off the questioning with this question here. So once they've gone through all of these and answered all of these questions, we say, based on your response, it sounds like our company could be a good fit. Would you like to book a call with one of our team members to see if we might be a good fit? Now, I am going to highlight this right here. Would you like to book a call? Okay, this is super important, and you're going to find out in just a second why that is. Now you're going to give your bot additional information about the company so that it can now start to roll with the punches a little bit more. So we've given it instructions. We've told it what it's supposed to do. We've given it the questions that it needs to ask. Now we're going to give it some additional information about the company so that if people get off topic and start asking questions, the bot can handle those at least to a degree. And this is where I say not all AIs are perfect. People are going to ask questions that your bot doesn't understand. So the more information you feed this in your prompting, the better the outcome will be. And that's pretty tough to do when you're testing stuff, but you'll understand it once you actually start putting this into practice. So we have, again, dynamic values. So what is a frequently asked question that somebody might ask their business? And what is an answer to that? Now, I have found that these fields here, we have 3 different fields in our system. These fields here are actually probably the most important fields to get your bot to engage properly. And when I say give this as much detail and information as possible, I mean give it as much detail and information as possible, because it will take these FAQs and it will be able to respond dynamically from them. Now we're going to tell the bot some rules. And again, we're going to do this in a positive manner. Okay. When a client asks a question, be sure to answer the question with the appropriate FAQ answer and then return with the next qualifying question. So if I ask them qualifying question 1, they go off script and ask me another question. We will answer that question and then return to qualifying question 2. That's what we've instructed the bot to do just there. If user message does not directly answer the question asked, but either indicates to book a call or wants to see a demo, skip the remaining questions and reply asking if they would like to book a call. Include this exact phrase in your response. And I'm going to highlight this again. Okay, so now we've told it what to do if they just want to book a call, right? And that's pretty much it. That's our whole prompting structure for this AI. Okay, so now we're going to go back into HighLevel. Actually, first we're going to go back into ChatGPT because that is the prompt that was written here. Okay. Next step, we're going to get a, let's test this step just for fun. All right, so we got a response. Hi, Adam, how can I assist you with our AI sales system snapshot? Blah, 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 blah. Cool. Now we're going to continue. You are now going to connect your lead connector account, which is step number 3 in the Zap. So select your system. You are going to need the location API key of your system in order to connect this. And this is something that you will need to connect for every single customer. Okay, so every client that you have that's going to use your AI, you need to duplicate this Zap and connect their sub account with it. Okay, the only thing that you really need is their email or their phone number. So I would just put in both. If you get that information, I would put in both. You only need one or the other. You don't need both. Okay. Next thing that we're going to do is we're marking as lead true. This is a required field. And then now we're going to update AI assistant response. That is a custom field that we've created. And this is going to plug in the AI's response accordingly. Okay. That's as simple as it gets. You don't need to do anything else. Just AI response. We're going to hit continue. I'll retest this step in just a second, bearing in mind that the prompt that I have there is going to be a little bit different. So this workflow here is sending the instructions to the AI to respond to the customer accordingly. That is what workflow number 2 is. Now, workflow number 3 is where the magic starts to happen. We are going to take the AI assistant response. Here's your trigger. Your trigger is AI assistant response custom field has changed. That is about as simple as it gets. Okay, so if that field changes, fire this workflow. Okay, now this is going to look a little bit crazy, but we've got a demo condition. We're going to drop it out if it's a demo bot. Otherwise, we're going to keep it going. And now we're going to check for those channel tags that we talked about earlier. Which channel did this person reply to? And in this case, we're SMS. So we're going to go down this route and we're going to send AI assistant response as the text message. So there we go. Now, we originally had a lot of people asking us, hey, what if they don't reply? Then what? Well, here's how you do that. So we're going to wait 2 hours. And if you recall the previous workflow, we removed them from this workflow if they replied, right? So we're going to wait 2 hours. We're going to do a math operation here. And we have this AI re-engagement counter. So if you recall, in the last workflow, we made that 0. If they reply, that goes to 0 every single time. Otherwise, we just add 1. Now this way, if the AI engagement counter is less than or equal to 2, so this is telling the bot that you have 2 attempts to reach out to this person. If they don't respond to the AI after 2 attempts, we're going to send an internal notification to actually attempt to contact that person manually. Okay. Otherwise, if it's still within that 2 attempts, we're going to come down here. We are going to update the pipeline stage to AI re-engagement. We are going to update the original prompt because now we're going to send it a different one. And again, that's why this structure works so well, because now I can dynamically change the prompt at any point to actually re-engage the customer with a different prompt and a different idea. But we still need the original one, because if they re-engage, we still want to stay in that rhythm of asking the questions. So we take an AI backup prompt custom field and we put in the original AI prompt there, because now what we're going to do is we are going to update the AI prompt with a new prompt. It has been several hours since so-and-so. Please check the conversation history and re-engage with that lead to try to get them to re-engage with us, is effectively what that prompt is. Now, remember, the memory key is still the same. We're sending in a new prompt, but the memory key is still the same, meaning it still knows what was previously said. So all we're asking it to do is go out and re-engage with the lead. Now, this brings me to another key point. Do you guys remember that we took the message body here and we converted it into a custom field? The reason that we converted into a custom field is because at this point, the lead has not responded. So message body does not exist, and therefore your AI will fail. It'll say, hey, nope, this portion's missing. It's a required field, but it's not there, which is why we back up every single message that they send into this field, so that even if they don't reply 2 hours later, we can still use that as a prompt, as part of the prompt. Okay. Does that make sense to anybody? Anybody not make sense of that?
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna ask, before you guys had that, did you have delays with hearing back from ChatGPT? Is that what the fix was?
So before we had this,
Before you had the backup, yeah.
At this stage, the message would the prompt would fail. So this step in your Zap will fail because this is a required field. And at this point, the customer has not replied. So there is no message body that gets sent to the AI.
Yeah, I had the same problem.
Whereas when we back up the message body in the previous step, we can resend that message body because that field hasn't changed inside the contact record.
Yeah, that's pretty genius, man.
So now we can re-engage the contact.
Nice.
Okay. So we update the prompt, we send the webhook to the same Zap, and then we reset the prompt back to the AI backup prompt. So we just backed up the original prompt here, and now we're just putting it back into the original prompt structure here. So now if they do reply again, the bot could just re-engage and start where it left off.
Now, after 2 tries of doing that, it has a handoff as an internal notification. So we'll stop the bot from trying to engage entirely, and we'll hand off to a live agent so that they can engage with that person instead, because that's what you need to do.
Yep. And then we update the opportunity to unresponsive. So the highlighted book a call. Would you like to book a call? This is also super, super important. We're going to go back to the client response workflow, and we're going to get into this condition right here. And this is basically the end of it. So pay attention. What we've done here is we have told the system if AI response contains book a call. So what's the field that we're updating from ChatGPT? AI assisted response. So if that field contains book a call, which is the keyword that we gave it here, and the intent type is positive, and it is an SMS. This is important because the AI booking bot in HighLevel can only work with SMS. Okay. So we have modified versions of the prompts for Messenger where we instead send the booking link. Right. But if it's an SMS, we can go directly into the AI booking bot. So we're just saying, did the AI respond with the question, book a call? Did they respond positively to that? And are they using the SMS structure? And if so, we are going to move them into a new workflow to get them to book a call. And that workflow is as simple as this. We're going to remove the AI assistant tag because now we're getting a new bot to engage with the customer to go ahead and book the call. And we're going to kick off the AI booking bot. Now, we always say, is there a good time this week? Because they said, hey, would you like to book a call? And the person responded with a positive, yes, I would like to book a call or talk to somebody. Is there a good time next week? And then the AI bot is going to take over. Okay, now there's one downside to this. You cannot change what this bot says. This bot is just going to kind of go through the motions and it's going to do its thing. It will deliver. If they say, yeah, Tuesday's good, it will say, great. We've got availability on Tuesday at 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m., and 3 p.m. Do any of those times work? If they say no, it's going to, sometimes it bugs out, sometimes it doesn't work. But if they say, actually, you know what, maybe Thursday would work better. Awesome. Here's the dates that we have available for Thursday. And they'll say, okay, great. 2 p.m. works. The bot will say, awesome. 2 p.m. Are you good with that? Yes, we are. Congratulations. You just got a booked appointment. Right. But this is very rigid and it will fail sometimes. So just be aware of that. At this point, there is no AI assistant taking place. So you can jump in and interrupt that cycle if you need to. But if the bot times out, we're just going to try again, right? Hey, is there a good time this week? And then if they book the appointment, no. If they time out a second time, we're just going to tell the client, hey, we tried, we failed. This person was interested in booking a call. Go ahead and get on the phone with them. Mm-hmm. So we're at an hour and we just managed to cover every single piece of it.
I'm going to add one thing onto this. And that is that this entire system that we have built is updated by a form filled by the client. So all the client has to do is you send them a form, they fill out that form, the entire system's operation.
So I will speak to that a little bit because that's a very good point. We have this AI assistant training funnel. So you would send this to your customer. And your customer will then fill out every single piece of this form to give their bot the personality, the name, tell it what links it's supposed to go to. HighLevel is being high-level-y again today. Oh my gosh, this is brutal. Why don't I just do this? HighLevel is being very high-level-y. But the point is, we have a survey. And inside that survey, we have two of them that are almost the same. So we have email to tie it to a contact. What's the company name? That's going to be your AI company name. Finish the sentence we specialize in, and that's going to be given to the AI. What is the AI assistant's name? What's its personality? What's your calendar link? What are the 4 qualifying questions that we need to ask? What is the booking keyword? So by default, we trigger this off of keywords. And then what are your FAQs 1, 2, and 3 with their answers? What is the product you're trying to sell if you're going the sales bot route? What's the product description, product price, product category? What's the benefits of the product? Give your bot as much information as you can. Where can people go to purchase it? And what is the keyword that's going to kick this off? And then we've got the database reactivation. So what's your database reactivation offer? Details 1, 2, and 3. Can people book? Where can people purchase or book? So this can be a booking or a purchase database reactivation offer. What's the keyword that's going to kick this off? So as soon as you fill out this survey, your entire AI is now trained, which means you can also go in and change the DBR, right? You can go in and change it at any time just by filling out that form again. And then we also built in another custom situation here where you can actually demo this with a client in real time. We just put the booking bot only in here, but this will then be tied specifically to that contact. And then that contact can engage with its very own AI to help sell the system for you. So, Cody, we did it in an hour.
Hell yeah. Who found that helpful? Just a little bit overwhelmed, but I promise you, if you go back and rewatch this video a few times, you're going to be able to build something that you can sell for a lot of money and make a lot of money using for yourself.
Let's go ahead and raise your hand. Let's ask some questions, guys.
Sherm, what's up, man? You're muted. You gotta come off mute.
I'm off mute. Sorry
There we
about that. So a couple questions. Number one, would you consider setting bot a foot in the door or a standalone product or both?
Would I
Well-
consider would I consider it a foot in the door offer? Is that what you just asked?
Yeah. So like I sell high ticket SEO and so I'm looking for a lower level, a downsell or whatever.
Personally,
Or,
I wouldn't
I
sell
mean-
this as a downsell because a downsell for $1,000 a month isn't really a downsell.
Okay.
Like this would be like a bolt on. Like think about this term. Like for example, like SEO, a downsell in
That's-
SEO would be
No,
GM.
that's how I've been selling it, Rahul. That's how I've been selling it.
Selling what?
Nobody's buying yet. I'm selling the AI chatbot and database reactivation and things like that as add-ons to my high ticket SEO.
Okay, so going back to the downsell, like typically like an SEO business would be like, let me optimize your GMB, get my foot in the door. I'm going to charge you $1,000 a month. Here's the impact. Once you believe, trust me, et cetera, traffic goes up, calls go up, insights go up. Then our next step is to optimize the full out website with blogs, keywords, schema markup, all the works, right? So that's the downsell in SEO. The bolt on, which is like different than a downsell. A bolt on is saying, hey, when we're getting these leads through GMB and we're getting these leads through your Facebook and IG, we can actually get speed to lead because their purchase behavior in 2023 is much quicker. They're well researched. They have access to tons of information. They want to make decisions quicker. So now that you have this SEO thing, the bolt on is $1,500 a month. And here's what it's going to do for you. And here's how you measure it. Here's how you track it. Here's how you replace human capital and make it repeatable capital. And here are all the various benefits. So bolt on means something stacked on top of something you already sold, like an upsell.
Right.
And there's no cost to it. It's basically $1,500 to make your life fucking awesome. So your leads don't go to your competitors, right? It takes advantage of your marketing dollars. If the assuming $1,500 is just a no brainer for somebody spending like 10 grand a month, right? Like $1,500 a month. If I was talking to a client that spends 10 grand with me, I would just say, hey, I got something for you. My goal is to get you to say yes at the end and just implicitly trust me. Now, let me just tell you what it is. And at the end, you just tell me if we're starting or not. That's kind of how when I have trusted clients, that's how I pitch it. Then they're just already pre-framed to buy it. I just have to tell them the price. And then I have to create the gap along the way. You know how like a lot of leads are leaking through the system, right? I have a solution to solve that. Now, if we can bring in one deal, that would be an extra, what, $8,000? Okay, cool. This is a no brainer. We're going to do this, but let me explain it. And you can Q&A with me at the end. So I'm kind of just shoveling it there because of the relationship. If I don't have a very good relationship, I'm going to be have a little bit more charisma behind it.
And I'll just add to that too. Like if you're doing SEO, like Rahul said, probably the first place you're going to start is Google My Business, right? Getting them visible on Google where people are probably going to find them. The number one thing that people do through Google My Business is call the business, right? And so we always talk about the hot dog offer, the foot in the door offer of missed call text back as being one of those functions. Well, what if you had missed call text back that could actually handle basic conversation with the customer and book calls for you? So it's not just, oh, we'll get to them for you right away and then you've got to take over. What if an AI did it for you? You feed the AI information about your business, somebody calls your business and you don't pick up. Well, now we've basically got a sales assistant set up here for you. Right now that takes your high level SaaS for missed call text back from $297 a month to like $797 or $997 a month, because they're able to replace an office assistant that they would otherwise be paying $3,000 a month for just to handle that kind of stuff. It's probably going to screw it up, by the way, because humans make mistakes all the time, or humans miss things all the time. Right. So it's another way to just take your SaaS offer from a 97, 297, 497 to replacing an entire human being potentially and missing less opportunities. Right?
Perfect. Thank you. Hey, I have just a quick second question. Is there any practical limit to how many FAQ questions you can ask ChatGPT? Because I see you've got 5 in your workflow, but
Did answer that in the chat. The more that you add on, the more squirrely it can get, the more the chat bot can start going a little
Okay.
haywire. So
right.
that's what we recommend, between 3 to 5. You start getting more than that, then it becomes, but there is some add-ons that we're looking at in the future where, and I have to relook the documents, but where you can pre-program an AI assistant and then call that personality through ChatGPT with the
Oh,
OpenAI. So we're looking at some other added features of that aspect with ours that we're going to be adding to our Platinum program.
okay. Just the reason I asked this is I just picked up a new SEO client that is a lawn care and landscaping company in the summer, and then they do all kinds of other shit in the winter. So some of this stuff.
Copy paste. You can have 2 different prompts.
And you could even
Okay.
even say, if time of year is this to this one. If time of year is this to this, do that.
Yep.
Brilliant.
And that's the greatest usage of having that AI prompt as a custom field. It is 100% dynamic, so you can change the prompting completely
Based on any variable. Any variable in the system, you can change the prompt. Right.
So yeah, you can have one system this way, one system that way. Just add in additional custom fields. So, this is for this service FAQs. This is for this service FAQs. And you just have, for our use case, we'd build that into the questionnaire that he would fill out.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
And
awesome.
if you think about it as
forgetting how much,
what service are you interested in on a lead form, you can then have the bot speak specifically to that service.
Got it. Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem. Ricardo, what's going on?
Sir, I'm back. Yep. Getting bounced off. Yeah, just to piggyback off of Sherm's question, is that in the prompt itself, you're saying that Brendan said that if you add too much in there, it gets squirrely, right? Is that the amount of characters you put in the prompt, or it doesn't matter? Even if you're coming from a custom value, if you put too much in the custom value, it's too much.
Just
information wise.
Information, right?
Just like everything that you guys have heard me talk about in the Go High Level world, the more simple you keep it, the better it will perform 100% of the time, right? Which is why we built it the way that we did, so that you could change the prompt based on different criteria, right? So you can get creative with response types and things like that. And we always say, like, tell people what you want them to say. So guide them into it a little bit. So if you're interested in lawn care, respond with 1. If you're interested in snow removal, respond with 2. If you're interested in window washing, respond 3. They will respond that way. And then your bot can dynamically take over. Right.
Yeah,
and that way you're reducing the prompt size based on what they're trying to talk about. Now, I mentioned to add as much details as humanly possible to the things like the FAQs and the DBR offers and things like that. We have not had a problem loading that up. Like, I have written paragraphs worth of information so that it has that information, and we haven't had any problems with it. Where we run into the biggest problems is when we start to actually add more qualifying questions, because we've told it, follow this path, but the more questions we tell it to follow, the more off the beaten path it starts to get, and it doesn't return as easily. So we just found that like 4 to 6 is kind of where we like to keep it. Beyond that, we've had nothing but issues with it. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
No problem. Who else? Guys, come on. That was a lot. That was like a fistful of training. I'm sure somebody else has questions about structure.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Susan.
Okay, so when you were talking about if it starts to go off the rails, you have like a kill switch.
Yeah.
So you could build all kinds of kill switches when it starts to get off track, right? Will it trigger? Can you create like a trigger where somebody on the team's like on call, so to speak, and they can like take over right away and catch it while it's hot, when somebody's very interested? Or
yeah, so one way that you could do that in the system is you could just have like a reply counter, So is this customer engaging? If they engage more than 10 times, we probably want a person to jump in, kind of thing, where it basically becomes a lead. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Warm lead?
Yeah, a warm lead counter or lead scoring, right? So the
Oh,
more
yeah.
that they're replying to the AI, the better potential quality they would be. So if they get to say 10, you would then shoot off an internal notification, say, hey, this is a hot lead, like get in here and start having a conversation. You could also trigger it off of basic response types, right? Like you saw with hey, if the AI response contains book a call and they respond this way, do this. You could build all that into it as well. So if we ask them this question and they respond this way, that's a hot lead. Send this to a person, right?
Like if somebody were to say, okay, this is a chatbot, and they say representative, it would like go to somebody.
Yeah,
possibly, right?
totally. So you can key off of any types of responses that you think people would reply to, right? Or reply with. And then you can just add the kill switch tag and off you go.
Okay. And just how GHL has snapshots, do you have something similar to like what you already built that we could purchase? Since why make a new one if you already have?
Yeah. So everything that I just showed you is part of our Core 4 AI system that is within HighLevel. It is exclusive to our platinum members only through our GHL Mastery.
Adam, really quick, can you go over what that Core 4 is inside that snapshot?
Yeah. So
it's AI system.
It's booking, database reactivation, low ticket sales, and multi-channel AI. So those are the core 4 things that we have it doing. We were going to put reputation management in there, but there's really no point with AI to do reputation management because it's either, yes, they're going to write a review or no, they're not. So we had started building one, but it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. But that's what's all included in it. And then the other components of that as well is you get the AI demo. So we have this demo page here. So you can obviously tweak this a little bit, but they can actually fill this form out and build their own little AI demo bot directly in your system as a lead gen solution. And then that immediately goes to an order page for them to actually purchase your bot. So it comes with the demo page there. You also get the AI assistant training, which also comes with a newsletter training, by the way, which is also another really cool feature that we added into this. And then we've got our sales funnel for the AI system with downsells and upsell pages, as well as DBR offers. So you can mess around with those as well. And then we've also got the SaaS demo funnel as well. So this is they fill out a form and then they just get bombarded with messages over an 8-minute period to show the power of automation, right? So you get all of that built into it, plus all the multi-channel structures. And because it is a platinum only exclusive deal, you also get one-on-one time with myself and Brendan in the GHL Mastery program to help you kind of build, set up, and tweak and modify for yourself and for your clients.
And can you also talk a little bit about what industries this really works well with, and maybe what industries don't bother with as far as selling this solution to them?
So we built this to be niche agnostic, meaning I don't care what niche you're in. With the prompts that we've built and the prompts that we've given it using the custom values and things the way that we have, we literally tried this probably 20 times where we actually went into ChatGPT and we said, make up this company in this field and answer all of these questions for us. And it would do it. Right. And then we just put in all of those answers into all of our fields. And then we would be talking to a medical professional, or we were talking to a chiropractor, or we were talking to a roofing company.
We made up so many different companies just to test the system and see what happens.
Yeah. So we literally used ChatGPT to create fake companies that we could throw all of our prompts into. And it just worked. So I would say the sales bot structure, I would say, makes more sense from a low ticket item perspective because it's one of the bots we made was like a fictitious AI healthcare solution, and it was like $250,000. So it was attempting to sell a $250,000 product over text messaging, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, from the sales side, it would be more like a low ticket type thing, like chiropractors, massage therapists, lawn care, like all of those niches this could work for. So we haven't put a niche in there that didn't make sense other than the $250,000 AI medical care system. So, but yeah, we built it to be very niche agnostic. It does not matter. I have got 8 more minutes.
Okay.
I thought of something else.
Go ahead.
When you have built the system and you have a bunch of people replying to these bots and asking questions and all that, are you able to maybe export all the data to see what are people asking and, what are some of the questions that maybe you didn't think about that people are asking, things like that, that you can like maybe export it to like a spreadsheet or something else so that you can review maybe some other things to sell them or things that they asked that you didn't think about?
It's certainly possible. We don't have that built into the system right now, but what you could do is you could take all of their replies, and if reply contains a question mark, throw that question onto a Google Sheet, and then you can have that Google Sheet kind of building a list of questions that people are asking, and then go back into your bot and answer those questions. Right?
Yeah.
So you just take that prompt script that we showed you guys, you just add the FAQs to it and the answers, and then paste it back into your bot's prompt.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So really quick, where everything is stored in the conversations is in the conversations hub, because it's via the communications of all the clients. So as customers communicate into Go HighLevel, it goes in the communication section. As the bot responds back, it goes in the communication section. So everything is stored right there.
Yeah. Cool. Well, if nobody else has any questions about this AI system, go and watch the replay and start building.
I got 10 more questions, but
Me too. It's like I don't even
talk
know what
about
they
it later.
are. I'm like, I have questions, but I don't even know how to formulate them.
We've got time, so keep on hitting us, and we're happy to ask. We're happy to answer. So as long as we've got time, I have a hard stop in exactly 15 minutes, where my wife's out of the house and I'll have a child in my lap. So go ahead, Ricardo. Keep on hitting us.
Nah, I was thinking that you mentioned before that you limit it to like 4 to 6 questions, right? To ask the prospect. But what you could do, because later on you said that you basically asked ChatGPT about all these different niches. So what you could do is you could create a role to say this is your role, is to qualify the prospect based on this section, and then create a section like you do with the rules and facts.
So we did try that.
Try that.
We did try that. And that's originally we had the booking, DBR, and sales all in the same single prompt, but it ended up being massive, the prompt. And then ChatGPT wasn't actually able to read any of it. Like it
couldn't differentiate.
Yeah.
It couldn't split its personality
all over the place, which is why we split it into individual prompts.
So now our booking prompt is exactly like you said. This is your role. You are a setter for this company that specializes in X, yada, yada. When it goes to the database reactivation, this is what you're doing. We're running a database reactivation campaign, and we made it that personality. When it goes to the sales, you're a sales assistant for this company. You specialize in X. So we gave it its role independently, dynamically through the custom field, depending on what the use case is coming in.
And you could create unlimited of those, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the reason that we give you the prompt sheet when you get access to this is that you can just take that, copy it, paste it, change everything, and now you can sell a different product all at the same time. right? So you don't have to go into Zapier to rebuild your prompting structure. You just
add new custom fields, add those to your questionnaire, add those new custom fields into the new prompt system, make a new leg into the prompt system. It's fully dynamic.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but if you took the role and you said you wouldn't have to create questions, you know what I'm saying? Because you could let ChatGPT ask the questions on its own. If you use ChatGPT to define the questions, and so let's say you take your questions, right, and you plug it into ChatGPT and you say, what is, and then you put the question, or what would be the answer for this question number one, and it spits that out. You can plug that into, this is what a qualified prospect looks like, and then tell it, ask the prospect questions based off of the qualified prospect section, which has the answers to what you just did.
Yeah, you technically could do that.
And then you could do away with the questions. Is that what you're saying you tried, or?
So the reason that we have the questions in there in the order of operations that we have the questions in there is because we want it to ask all of these questions. Like, these are the 4 things that we want to ask every single time.
If you allow ChatGPT to qualify your prospect, it's doing it on its own terms, not on yours.
And then the other component of that too is that because we have that switch over to the booking structure, if you don't have that as part of your prompt, it will not switch over. So we've had that where we wanted it to, but it didn't. And it actually tried to book a call on its own, but it's not connected to anything. So it would say, yeah, we're available on Tuesday at 2. And it's like, nope, I'm not actually. Right. So
it would actually give you times and all that. And we're like, no.
Yeah. So you give it too much leash and it's going to take it all. Right.
Gotcha.
Which is why you want to rein it in a little bit.
It literally told us like, yeah, we've got you booked for 2:00 on this day.
It's like, no, you don't.
Where did you book that?
Yeah.
Or another one was, yeah, I just sent you a confirmation email. Check your email. And we're like, you're not connected to an email system.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to send emails.
Right. So, yeah, because I had a lot of problems with keeping the questions going, but the solution to that was what did you say? Keeping it positive. If you tell it not to do certain things, and then you're just trapped in this whole mess.
You've got to build its box that it lives in.
Right.
Once you build that box it lives in, then you've got to get that down tight. Once you get that down tight, now you can start expanding out from it. But you've got to get that core down first, before you start adding to your AI.
Active and passive speech was key. Yeah.
Very, very key.
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
I could have saved 2 months worth of work.
Well, that's about 2 months worth of work that me and Adam did in about a week.
Oh, okay.
Spent a lot of time on this system.
A human being is always better than using ChatGPT to help you.
I don't know. ChatGPT codes.
I mean, and in sense of a partner, it's like, okay, figure this out. Because then the partner, ChatGPT doesn't know what to ask. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm good. Thanks, man. That's cool.
No problem.
No problem, Ricardo.
What's up, Jen?
Hey, sorry I missed our appointment, Adam. Anyway.
You're sick, kiddo.
Yeah, I did. Totally sick. It was awful. But anyway, I still felt bad because it's not cool. Okay. So I have a client who we have conversations through text often. And I just responded to her. And then I went back to look at it. And my chatbot, who's never been a part of a conversation with her, jumped in to tell her it wasn't sure what she was talking about, but congratulations.
Did you
somehow she got the tag?
Yeah, if she had the AI assistant
tag. She got the AI assistant tag. It's the only way it would engage.
It was so crazy because it was in the midst of a conversation we were already having, and it was the first time it happened, and I was like,
wait a second.
What?
Yeah, if it has the AI assistant tag on the contact, the AI will engage. You have to turn it off.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
So funny.
Yeah.
So how much time, like if I don't respond right away, how much time does that look like before it decides that it's going to jump in and not really pay attention to the conversation prior?
If you kill the AI assistant tag, it's gone. So
Right.
it can't reply. If the AI assistant tag is there, you have like 5 seconds.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So once
Now,
you already
you can
have,
change that, right? You can go into the AI assistant reply workflow and add like a 30-second wait step or a 1-minute wait step before it sends the message, right?
Okay.
And that will give you a little bit of leeway, but not much.
so if you have that tag, which is not a terrible tag, I mean, but she doesn't probably need it now because she's already in my system. If does it not look at the prior conversation to have context, or
only
do you know?
only prior conversation that you have sent through to it via Zapier. Prior conversation that you have had individually will not be part of it.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Because
That's my question.
any conversation that you have inside the system with the AI off is just inside HighLevel. Any conversation that the bot is having goes to Zapier, has the memory key, tracks a record of it,
Okay.
and will reply accordingly. But yeah, if you have the AI turned off and you're dynamically chatting with somebody, then yeah, it won't have any idea what was said.
Right, but if it's on, then it's still not getting it if it's my conversation because my part is not running through Zapier.
Correct. Yeah, there's no connection to the memory key if you're just having a conversation.
Okay, even that's connected.
In fact,
Is there a way to?
If you walk into the conversation while the AI is turned on and you send something, the bot has no context that you sent anything.
Okay, these are good things to understand.
Unfortunately, there's no user input message body field. So like within HighLevel, if I type, hey Jen, how's it going? I can't trigger anything off of that message being sent. So theoretically, if you could do that, we could take all of that and back it up into a conversation history and then send that over. But that would just get crazy long in terms of the prompting. But yeah, currently you can't. Just make sure that your bot is dead before you start engaging.
Okay, so I just disconnect it from that person. Once I have a relationship and active communication, I don't necessarily need the bot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just kill it. Kill the bot.
Okay.
Which is remove that tag.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for spending the time to watch that amazing training. Like I mentioned previously, my intention is for you not just to watch that training, but if you got something out of it, if you think this information is useful, I want you to continue that journey with us. And you can do that in a couple of ways. One, I want you to smash that subscribe button so that you get notified every single time we put another one of these out, which will be at minimum once to twice per week. The other thing I want you to do is go ahead and click that next video right there beside you so that you can dive in and get shit done. Hope to see you out there.